Hey guys, it's EJArendee. I'm going to talk about there we go, maybe you can see me a little bit better now. We're going to talk about INFJ versus ISTP, and basically what it is what is the difference between INFJ and ISTP in Myers-Briggs? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at another system. If you go over to Socionics, you'll see the Socionics LSI, which is the ISTJ. I believe this is the cause for many INFJs and Myers-Briggs to think they're ISTPs. And the truth is, they probably are. If that's the case, you probably are an ISTP. Now, ISTPs have what's called hyper-emotionalism, which means that, let's say an ISTP, they got that really low extroverted feeling, okay? That doesn't mean they don't feel it. I mean, it does. It means it's primitive. It means it's very primitive. It's a good way of looking at the functions. The top function, their TI, is very sophisticated, very, what's a word for the opposite of primitive? Developed, evolved, and then FE, their worst function would be the FE and extrovert feeling. So what happens is ISTPs have what's called hyper-emotionalism. So do INTPs. Hyper-emotionalism is where you have it's where you have, let's say I'm an ISTP and I go on a date with some girl and you get attached very well. I wouldn't say you get attached very quickly, but well, no, yeah, you kind of do get attached very quickly. It's just your emotions get very high, and you get kind of overwhelmed. And like, ISTPs are pretty emotional people. It's just they're not it's not outwardly visible. So when you approach one, you go on a date, let's say things go well, and then the ISTP is going to go home and he's going to sit there and he's going to think about what happened. And and this is where the hyper-emotionalism kicks in, is where he's going to sit there and he's going to analyze everything in extreme detail. And he's going to get very emotional over the subject, over the person, maybe even obsessive. Anyway, they can experience these emotions that are very powerful, and they don't really know how to deal with them because they're ISTPs. The feeling function is very low. They can get bamboozled by emotions, and yeah, I've already said that like 12 times. So when so they get frustrated over these emotions. They get powerful emotions, but they don't know how to deal with them. It's also why ISTPs are supposedly known to cry in public. There's something that I read something on, I think it was personality page, I don't remember. But one of the problems with ISTPs, they might actually be prone to crying in public. Now, when I dated an ISTP once, and she wasn't what I was looking for, and I was about to tell her that, but then I just saw the face, like, she gave me this face, like, it looked like she was about to cry in public. And I was like, oh shit. So I actually ended up buying her dinner, and then letting her choose when the date ends. Because she already knew what I was trying to say, and it just, I don't know. I'm not letting that happen again. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that again. But that's what happened. I had never almost made a girl cry in public, but when this happened, I was like, oh shit, I think I'm about to hurt her feelings. So I just cut off what I was doing, and I was just like, but I think we should go hang out at this bar because, and I somehow just redirected us over there, and and then I let her decide when the date was over, after she had already gotten the message. So, Now, INFJs. INFJs have secondary extroverted feeling, auxiliary extroverted feeling. So they're not going to be as primitive in emotions. In fact, they're going to know all the nuances, all the social behaviors. Okay, they're going to know everything that's. It's very hard for an INFJ to piss you off, unless they're being passive aggressive or something, and you demand that people be direct with you. Now, I'm just saying, like, when they give their opinions or something like that, they're going to be very tactful. They're going to know how to say it in a way that's not going to piss you off, stuff like that. ISTPs, they're not really going to know this. They're just going to kind of say it because it's on their mind, and if it offends you, well, it's not their problem. Now, that's kind of my problem as well. I'm similar in that respect. But physically, let's say you're looking at an INFJ and you're looking at a ISTP. First of all, the INFJs, they can handle rejection. INFJs can handle rejection pretty well. Okay, they might cry and stuff. You might make them cry, maybe, if you reject them. But you know what? Like they can deal with it. It doesn't drive them insane. It doesn't make them go crazy. Like an ISTP, they can get rejected very easily, and the pain can probably last a little longer than they'd want it to. Big difference physically when you look at an INFJ versus an ISTP. ISTPs have a big wall. Okay. They seem pretty boring. I remember in a previous video of mine I said that INFJs can be very boring when unless they open up to you. Yeah, I was actually talking about an ISTP. Okay, so that was wrong. I'm correcting myself right now. But the ISTPs have this big wall. It's like when you come up to them, there's this big brick wall that you have to climb over, and they're standing there on the other side of the wall. And that's an ISTP. And ISTPs actually like to do the chasing. Okay, ISTPs like to do the chasing. They like to come after you, believe it or not. Or I'm sorry, they might not come after you, but they will. Or do they? I'm not going to comment on that. But big wall. They don't open up. Very hard to get to know. Okay, and then once they open up, you're like, holy crap! You're a great, fun-loving kind of person. Now, when INFJs open up, it's different. They start acting more like an ESTP. They start becoming more challenging, more direct, more assertive. You see this kind of. It's sort of like on the outside. There's this sort of mushy, plush, soft kind of person, but then once they come out, there's like this kind of, they're like inside, it's just this monster comes up and just, like they'll destroy you. Yeah, yeah, that's INFJs, and the difference you can also see when drunk. You can see when drunk, INFJs kind of turn into big sluts, and ISTPs turn into like teddy bears or whatever. When you drink, it lowers your inhibitions, which means you start acting in a way that you start revealing yourself. You start opening up. You're not scared to be who you are. You start to relax. Okay, so oftentimes that's why people act differently when they're drunk. So INFJs will start to become more extroverted sensing-like. They'll start becoming more like ESTPs, more direct, more challenging, more competitive, more in your face, more extreme. And then the ISTPs, they'll become a lot more softer. They'll open up. You'll realize that they're very gentle, like big teddy bears. ISTPs, yeah. Big teddy bears, stuff like that. INFJs will want everyone around them to feel good and stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that if you're an INFJ and if you're a mistyped INFJ / ISTP, you're gonna be a girl and you're gonna think, or you're gonna be a guy who's an INFJ, or no, you're a girl you're a female ISTP who thinks she might be an INFJ, so a mistyped INFJ female, or a guy mistyped ISTP. So if you were an INFJ female who is actually an ISTP, you are probably going to be, you're probably going to have no problem showing that FE, making sure everyone around you is okay and stuff like that. But at the same time, not really. I mean, not really. It's that's kind of a BS answer, I know. So in a nutshell, when you open up to people as an INFJ, you're going to act like a big slut. If you're an ISTP and you open up to people, you're going to act like a fucking pussy. So that's the difference. See ya.